Wow. Tell me that wasn't exciting. Keyshawn Davis just knocked out Gustavo Lemos in the second round. Woo! And man, the pressure was on in this one. Like, not only was this in Keyshawn Davis's hometown, home city of Norfolk, Virginia, and we know how fighters often underperform when they are dealing with the distractions of fighting at home. You see a lot of underperformance and upset losses. Bad things can often happen to fighters who are taking their victory tour in their hometown. And there was a lot of concern with this one. I mean, we all know Gustavo Lemos not only gave Richardson Hitchens a damn near even fight, had Hitchens at 140 hurt multiple times in a fight that really could have gone either way on the scorecards. The hard-hitting Argentinian also missed weight by 6 pounds. This was a 135-pound fight. Lemos weighed 141. And a lot of people advised Keyshawn not to go forward with this fight. Like, I think Timothy Bradley said he shouldn't do it. Sergio Mora said he shouldn't do it. So many people were saying this is a very risky move. I think Chris Mannix said that he probably shouldn't do it. I mean, as it stood on paper, this was going to probably be a tough fight and Keyshawn Davis's biggest test. You couple that with Lemos missing weight by several pounds, and then by the time he gets into the ring, he's 155, 20 pounds over the contracted weight. And you saw how thick he looked in the ring. He looked big against Keyshawn Davis. So there was a lot of concern on top of the normal pressure of fighting in your hometown. This was supposed to be the, hey, let's see what you got, Keyshawn Davis. And then now he's coming in against a fighter who totally blew weight. Oh, this could have gone all kinds of bad. But quite frankly, this fight and that night could not have gone any better for Keyshawn Davis. That was an incredible performance. That was a nearly flawless performance. I think Timothy Bradley might have said the one thing that he didn't do in the first round. Remember, this was a second round knockout with 3 knockdowns in that second round. But in the first round, Timothy Bradley was saying that Keyshawn Davis could counter more. He was playing the matador. He was very slippery. He was avoiding punches really well. And watch Keyshawn's feet throughout that fight. Not only his hands, watch his foot placement. Look at how when Lemos was coming in, Keyshawn would pivot and exit. He would either hold in circle or he would duck in circle, but his exits were very crafty. And then he would go right back to a jab to the body to set up the bigger shots, right? He was also throwing a right hook to the body. Now, we knew Lemos was going to be coming in like, with a head full of steam. He was even lunging with some of his punches. But in the second round, you saw how Keyshawn Davis timed Gustavo Lemos's left hand. Lemos lunges in with a left hook. Keyshawn Davis, without missing a beat, sees that hook go by, throws the right hand, catches Lemos so cleanly, drops him for the first time. Lemos gets up. Lemos has the high guard. He's coming in with that crouch, coming in to apply more pressure to make Keyshawn Davis pay for what might have been perceived by some as a flash knockdown. But just moments later, as Lemos continues to come in, Keyshawn Davis throws a beautiful left hook that totally topples Gustavo Lemos. And this time, when he tried to get up, he fell back into the corner. So he kind of got dropped twice. That second time, he makes it back up. And Keyshawn Davis, by this point, is dancing. The commentary is warning him, don't dance too much. But then Keyshawn Davis puts together a few more perfectly placed, perfectly timed punches, still mixes it up to the body and to the head. And then he totally demolishes Gustavo Lemos, who the ref is trying to jump in to save Lemos. They both go tumbling onto the canvas. Lemos and the referee trying to save him. Dramatic scene. And you could see the overwhelming joy that Keyshawn Davis experienced with this night resulting in this fight. Again, this could not have gone any better for Keyshawn Davis. And I'm sure many I thought in my prediction video, I thought Lemos was going to give Keyshawn Davis hell. I thought that this was going to be like a 6 rounds to 4 type of fight, maybe with a knockdown somewhere in there, either Lemos knocking Keyshawn Davis down or Keyshawn Davis catching Lemos and knocking him down. But I thought in terms of who was winning which rounds, I thought that it might even be a controversial, disputed decision. Nah, we didn't get any of this. The boxer in this case, the person who people thought, hey, he better use that whole ring, he better be defensively on point, which he was. all these different things because you've got the bull in the China shop coming forward. And Lemos is a little less reckless actually than a bull in a China shop style. He's not, Derek Chisora. He's not one of these guys who's just a brute coming forward. He's got head movement as he's trying to enter. He uses his feet to close the distance. He is a pretty decent slipper. Like, he was slipping a lot of Richardson Hitchens jabs. And again, we knew or thought Lemos would be a big step up. Also because he had stopped an aging and old Lee Selby. But yeah, nah, none of that. Keyshawn Davis absolutely obliterated Gustavo Lemos, and it almost felt like poetic justice because of how much he missed weight by. I'm really curious, like, what happened there? I wonder if something happened during his training camp that rendered him unable to even come close to missing weight. That's the thing. It wasn't like 2 to 3 pounds. We're talking 6 pounds. I'm wondering what the hell happened, because if that was intentional, then I think that there should be like some sort of, I don't know who's going to want to work with Lemos after this one. That just seemed totally unprofessional, and it put everybody in a bad spot. Keyshawn Davis, he said it was an easy decision to go forward with the fight. He had 2 of his brothers fighting on the card. This was a homecoming. Like, this is not the fight that you just want to cancel. So it seems like cancellation wasn't even an option. It technically was, but it would have caused all kinds of hardship for everybody involved, really. So the fight went through and Keyshawn Davis showed out. Like, I've never been this excited after watching a Keyshawn Davis fight. This is exactly what he needed to truly get his name in the mix. And you heard who he called out in that post-fight interview. Gervonta Tank Davis. Look, I don't know about that. Like, Keyshawn Davis, might be better than I thought he was. I thought he was good, but I usually don't automatically assume that if somebody is training under, like Shakur Stevenson, who's training under Terrence Crawford, that the student is going to be as good as the master, right? I didn't necessarily think Keyshawn Davis was going to be like, yeah, throw him in that tier with Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford. Like, I don't even think Shakur Stevenson is necessarily in that tier with Terrence Crawford. We still have to see that story play out. But Keyshawn Davis had a spectacular performance against Gustavo Lemos. And it looks like the way they're going to put Keyshawn Davis on the path to a title fight will be through Dennis Berinchyk, the WBO champ, who beat Emmanuel Navarrete as Navarrete tried to step up another division. He was a 122 champ, 126, 130. He tried to win another belt at 135. Dennis Berinchyk ended up winning that decision. So that's how he won this WBO belt. It was a vacant title fight. It looks like that's how Keyshawn Davis is going to find his way to becoming a title holder, a major title holder. I really thought that it was going to be Oscar De La Hoya who tries to leverage William Zepeda and try to get a Berinchyk versus Zepeda fight. I thought that it was going to be Zepeda who's able to kind of beeline to a title fight, but it looks like through Bob Arum, Todd DeBuff, Top Rank, that it's going to be Keyshawn Davis. Berinchy's fight against Navarrete was on ESPN. It was a Top Rank fight. Emmanuel Navarrete is a Top Rank fighter. So it looks like Dennis Berinchyk versus Keyshawn Davis is what they're going to do. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this performance. I feel really happy for Keyshawn Davis in this case. You listen to, different fighters tell their, life story, and sometimes it makes you like them more. Sometimes, you hear somebody talk, and the more that they talk, the more you dislike them. I think there is a lot of star potential with Keyshawn Davis. He does seem like he could grow into being a very likable figure, a very exciting figure. And, for a while, I was wondering if he was only going to be a decision type fighter who doesn't really pack a punch, who's going to have these fights that he might start off very scintillating, start off looking great in the first couple rounds, and then the fight starts to simmer into a bit of a boring malaise where it's just round over round. Okay, can we get this fight over with? The next fight's about to come on, right? I've gotten that feeling with a couple Keyshawn Davis fights. Now, I know he showed out against Jose Pedraza, but I even looked at that a little bit suspiciously because I had never seen Jose Pedraza look that bad. I thought that was a byproduct of Pedraza just being way past prime. He's fought a lot of elite fighters over the years, and he's really taken a lot of punishment, especially in these last several fights of his career. So I thought that it was more Pedraza not being Pedraza than it was Keyshawn Davis being a tremendous performer. But hey, I got nothing but good things to say about this performance against Gustavo Lemos. We'll see as his career continues, but I'm not going to forget this night anytime soon. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments. You know, there's also Raymond Murataya, who's kind of hovering in that top rank title contender-ish space. You've got Shakur Stevenson, who's dealing with a hand injury. He says he wants Williams to pay the next. I wonder if they're going to try to reschedule him versus Joe Cordina. I just want to see, you know, if Stevenson gets well, how they position him. Lomachenko, I wanted to see Tank Davis versus Lomachenko. We still have to see what Tank Davis is going to do. It looked like it was going to be Lamont Roach coming up. Lamont Roach holds a belt at 130, coming up to 135 to fight Tank Davis. I didn't love the fight, but it was kind of a consolation fight after Tank Davis versus Lomachenko fell apart. I don't know if we're going to see Lomachenko in the ring again. He currently has the IBF title. And then you've got Frank Martin, who was just knocked out by Tank Davis. You've got Andy Cruz, who beat Keyshawn Davis in the Olympics, making Keyshawn Davis a silver medalist as Andy Cruz became the gold medalist. He's fighting on Matchroom with Eddie Hearn on DAZN. So yeah, you've got some interesting things cooking at 135, and it looks clear as to what their plan is on getting Keyshawn Davis a title fight. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are into the fight talk. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.